This meeting of the Wilson Licensing Authority will come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Authority Member Bradish. Authority Member Cole.
Here.
Authority Member Odell.
Here.
Authority Member Mather.
Here.
Authority Member Levere.
Present.
Authority Member Peterson. Authority Member Webb.
Here. And real quickly, before we approve the agenda, I'd like to welcome Pete to the board, or the authority.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks for your service. Next, we have approval of the agenda. Has everyone had a chance to look at the agenda? And does anyone have any?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the agenda as presented.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The agenda is approved. The next item of business is the approval of minutes. Does anyone have any? Thank you. I have a couple of small items on page 3. The second to last paragraph, when we were discussing the days and date for the fine in lieu of suspension, excuse me, it reads Tuesday through Sunday, and the dates of October 15th through October 19th, and I spoke with the clerk before, and so the dates are correct. The days should read Tuesday through Saturday. And then she very graciously pointed out that there was another, just for the benefit of you all, on at the very end on adjournment, the date should have read September 11th. Did anyone have any other issues with the minutes?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the minutes with those changes in mind.
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Mr. Chairman, I'll abstain because I wasn't present for that meeting.
All right, the minutes have been approved. The next item on the agenda is 8A, consideration of other applications and requests for liquor licenses for Beer, Wine, Spirits, Inc., doing business as Sunset Liquors, 26 East Arapahoe Road. Is there a representative for the applicant?
There is.
Good evening.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the authority. My name is Adam Stapen, S-T-A-P-E-N, registration number 27506, appearing on behalf of the applicant, Sunset Liquors. We also have with me the members and owners of the applicant, and also Sue Duffy Swall from the petitioning company, and some also parties and interests who are willing to testify in support of the license.
Welcome. Thanks for that. If you'll give us just a brief moment, we are going to start a new practice that we had discussed previously. We had not previously sworn in folks who have come to testify, but we're going to do so. And tonight we're going to try to swear in anyone who would like to speak all at the same time. So if you're here, you'd like to speak, just stand up where you are. You don't have to come up. Just stand up where you are. Don't need to raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give before this authority is truthful? Yes. All right. Thank you. Go ahead and make your presentation.
Thank you.
Wait a minute.
Before you start, I'd like to offer in Exhibits A through H as part of the record.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move that we do approve the Exhibits A through H as presented.
H being the sign-in sheet.
Yes.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All right. All those in favor of Exhibits A through H being entered into the record? Aye.
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 All those opposed? All right. Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Obviously, we're here before you seeking to license this location for a retail liquor store, which is an off-premise consumption type of liquor store. As you know in your packet, there's only one other similar license within the designated area. I think we can look around and see that there's no opposition present to this. So without further ado, I'd like to call Sue Duffy Swall. She has to drive back down to the Springs after she testifies. So.
Good evening. Hello.
Good evening.
My name is Susan Duffy Schwall. It's S-C-H-W-A-L-L. And I'm with Liquor Licensing Professionals. We're located at 24 Via Sierra Grande in Manitou Springs, Colorado. and we conducted the needs and desires survey regarding the application of Sunset Liquors. We had 4 circulators of the survey, and prior to the start of the survey, the circulators are briefed on the type of application and the areas to be surveyed. They have packets with them for the residents and business folks to look over and to sign if they want to. And at the conclusion, they sign notarized affidavits regarding that. They are always reminded, and they know, to remain unbiased in their approach to business folks and to residents who they contact. So in this particular survey, we attempted contact with 576 businesses and residents, and we made contact with 280. Of that, we obtained 170 total signatures. 29 of those signatures were from business owners or managers, and the results for businesses, 25 signed in favor at 86%, 4 signed opposed at 14%. With the residents, we had 141 total signatures, 115 signed in favor at 82%, and 26 signed opposed at 18%. So the overall result for this 170 signatures was 140 in favor at 82%, and 30 were opposed at 18%. I wanted to make sure and note that when we went out on this survey, we contacted residents on a Saturday, September 7th of 2013 during the day. Then we contacted business owners and managers on a Tuesday, September 10th during the daytime, and then came back on Tuesday, September 17th during the early evening hours till just before 8 p.m. So we wanted to make sure and let you know that we went out when we thought the most residents would be home on that. May I answer questions regarding the survey? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I have a couple questions. Ms. Schwall, how long has liquor licensing professionals been circulating petitions in support or against of liquor licensing in the state of Colorado?
We've been at it for 8 years now.
And based on your 8 years of experience, how would you opine as to the results of this retail liquor store petition as compared to other retail liquor store petitions?
The results in support of this license are higher than normal, I would say. Usually I would think around, 74 to 80%. So this to me showed a very strong positive result regarding needs and desires on this.
And you answered that question I was going to ask right now. So do you believe that your petition is direct evidence that the reasonable requirements of the neighborhood and the desires of the adult inhabitants are in support or in favor of the issuance of this retail liquor store license?
Yes, I do.
And were you compensated based on results?
No, we have it in our contract that results are never guaranteed, that this is an unbiased approach to business folks and people, and that's just the way it is, so we get the money up front.
I have no further questions. If the authority has any questions of Ms. Schwall.
I will make the comment that since I've been on the authority a number of years, I found this one of the easier petition process to follow, look at, and be able to evaluate. So I do thank you for that.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
I don't have any questions about it. I agree. It seemed to be very straightforward and had all the information that I was looking for.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay,
I would ask that Ms. Schwall be excused from the hearing.
that's fine.
Back down.
Okay, thank you
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Point of clarification or for record, was her petitions already submitted as part of the exhibits?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't need to move to the admission of those? Just want to
Correct.
double check.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Ready? Come on up, please. I'll get out of the way because they want to see you, not me.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Yes, my name is Gurdeep Singh, G-U-R-D-E-E-P. Last name is Singh, S-I-N-G-H.
Mr. Singh, what is your current occupation?
I'm currently working at a telecommunications company, level 3, out in Broomfield.
How long have you worked there?
Currently, I've been there for about a month.
Prior to being at the level 3 location in Broomfield, what did you do?
I was a manager at a location called Golden Village Liquors in Golden, Colorado. I managed that for about a year.
In the capacity of a manager, were you responsible for checking identification and ensuring that your employees properly check identification and comply with the laws of the state of Colorado in that jurisdiction?
Yes.
Did you have any violations while you worked there?
No.
Prior to that, what did you do?
I worked at I did have some prior liquor store experience as well, not managing it, but different parts of it. I worked at DirecTV in customer service, and then a small computer shop as well.
And during your tenure at the other liquor license locations, in addition to one you just testified to, did you have any violations for sale of alcohol to a minor or any other violations?
Not at all.
You're looking to open up a liquor store now, is that correct?
Yes.
Why are you seeking to open a liquor store?
I've always wanted my own business. I thought this was a great opportunity for me, and I think I did have some prior experience again managing it for about a year. I just thought it was the right time for me to get something of my own, which I've always wanted to do.
In addition to yourself being the owner, who else owns an interest in this proposed licensing?
Molense, he's right here.
And what relation is he to you?
He's my uncle, my dad's friend.
So he's your uncle?
Yes.
And has your family owned and operated liquor stores in the past?
Not us, but I do have family members in Aurora, Commerce City, Denver itself, again, Golden. Even in Littleton, I do have friends and family members that do own liquor stores, yes.
And have there been any violations with respect to those to your knowledge?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. If you're looking to open a liquor store, why did you choose this location?
Well, just the first part of it was a great location, Arapahoe and Broadway, two main streets, and again looking around that area, I've roamed that area before. There's nothing really particularly around to that one particular location. There's nothing really around. I think it's again high traffic area. It's a residential. It's very convenient for the residents too, especially with gas prices being expensive. People can walk. It's very helpful for them just to go around the corner, especially for the people that live in that area. Just talking to other people, again, I know a couple of people that do own liquor stores, or there's a restaurant owner I know. I've liked the area. I've never lived here, but just being around the area or those particular areas where they own the store, it's a nice area.
Okay. I'd like to break that down a little bit. You mentioned the high traffic. How would you describe Broadway and Arapahoe for traffic counts, if you would, as compared to other side streets or other streets within Littleton city?
Well, even just coming here today, there was a lot of traffic coming on. I think even just that particular location is very convenient to go in and out. A lot of people, when they get off work at 5 o'clock or 5:36, if they are going to stop anywhere, they want to go in and out. I think this location is perfect. Again, people can at least see it. It's not too much into a plaza. A lot of times, you have to kind of go in. They can go in from one side and go out the other. It's not too big of a plaza either, so they're not going to have problem with parking and so forth. Just again, as far as the corner, even coming today, I made sure I came that way as well. It took me a while to get here, which was around 6 o'clock, 6:30. So again, is definitely busier than most small locations.
So what you're looking at doing is attracting the consumers who travel through this area on Broadway and Arapahoe that maybe live outside of Littleton's city limits or outside of the designated area, but you're looking to attract those individuals, consumers as well.
Definitely. Again, there's a lot of car dealerships. People shop for cars. They'll be going around that area. And then obviously the people who live in those houses, and there's some apartments close by. Definitely those, but you definitely want to get those people that are, maybe just on their way home from looking at cars from the dealership. So that's definitely my goal.
Okay, and I'd like to touch upon what you just mentioned about the houses and apartments in and around that area. You're in a little pocket of commercial in the corner of Arapahoe and Broadway, and immediately to the east of that is what? To the east, right? To the east.
There's a lot of houses, a lot of resident, again, single family homes.
And are you looking to attract them to shop at your store for the convenience of being able to walk to your store or being able to pull in and out of your parking lot without having to get onto Broadway and fight that traffic?
Definitely. Both sides. My goal is to get the west side and the east side, yes.
And I'd like to direct your attention to the shopping center itself. Is this, I use the words destination location. I mean, would you describe the shopping center as being a lot of vacancies and being quiet, or do you see this as a vibrant shopping center?
I do see it as a vibrant. It can definitely get better because, again, there's a restaurant in there. There's a couple of restaurants in that plaza already. Again, this would definitely help them as well, as far as us as well.
So by that, I mean, so the restaurants in there, that this shopping center is attracting people to this location from the city and around the designated area are already frequenting this location for their shopping and eating needs. And you're looking to provide the convenience for them to kind of a one-stop, get something to eat at the restaurant, maybe then go over and get something from your location and take it.
Yes, sir. And, again, there's other few shops like a dancing studio, a swimming shop as well in that particular plaza.
Okay. I'd like to direct your attention to the floor plan that you submitted with your liquor license application. And if you would, I'd like you to walk us through the floor plan. Where's the front door? What am I going to see when I walk in? Kind of give me the lay of the land, please.
So right as I go in the middle is the entrance. To the right is going to be, my plan is to get an ice machine in there so people can get ice. On the right, it's going to be a cooler, almost about 11 feet deep in. My goal is to make sure all the beer and stuff, that'll go in the cooler directly where I don't have to have it outside. There's going to be 2 middle shelves, particularly for wine. And then 2, right as you go into the left, the windows will be glass, they'll be clear. And then to the left corner, it'll be the counter. And then behind the counter will be smaller sizes of liquor. And also to that wall, further down, it'll be your regular spirits, hard alcohol, tequila, etc. Towards the back, I have another shelf. There's a public restroom in that location. And then there's 2 storage rooms I plan on having.
And how high are your shelves, your internal shelves?
I'm planning on doing about 4 feet.
And why are you planning that height?
Just from prior experience, I've noticed that it's if you can always go high to have more stuff, but I think if you have it 4 feet, you can keep an eye on everything, especially if the counter is in the corner. It'll be easier to see everything, what customers are doing, less chance of stolen items and so forth.
And what about, you mentioned the front of the location is plain, or I should say glass, is that correct?
Yes.
And is that good or bad for a liquor store?
It's good. It's definitely good. Just from previously, I've noticed, kids are always going to try to come in or have an adult say, hey, buy this for me. What I've noticed is if you have a glass there and you're constantly watching and have that open, they know that when people go in and out, they know somebody's watching me, I shouldn't do this. So I do plan on keeping that open so the whoever's outside, they can see that we're inside watching them and we can see outside.
So essentially you're doing that to watch the customers come inside, and it kind of gives you eyes in the parking lot to see what's happening out there and on the inside of the location.
Yes.
How many employees do you intend to have?
As of now, I want to do 3 or 4, probably about 4, I would say.
Are there going to be some family members as well?
Probably like 1, I would say. 1, and then the rest of them employees, yes.
What are your hours of operation?
I plan on doing Monday through Thursday, I want to do 9 to 11, and then on the weekends, possibly 9 to 11:45.
Okay. And when you have your employees, you've been in the liquor industry for many, many years without a violation. What do you intend to do to ensure that if this license is granted here in the city of Littleton, you will continue to be a pillar of the community, to not sell alcohol to a minor, not sell alcohol to intoxicated individuals?
What I've done previously and what I've run into, and this is the reason I did it where I managed it, if they did get a ticket, they were fired. Another thing we did do in Golden, what I did was if there was somebody who came in and checked ID and we knew they were normally we got a letter saying, hey, somebody came undercover, your employee successfully checked ID. What I used to do was give them a bonus, $200 that would go on. So it gave the employee an incentive to make sure they do check ID of almost normally the rule I had was 40 years. If somebody looks about 40, check their ID. So by ensuring they did that, and we did have a couple employees that did get rewarded, so it definitely does work. Again, after a while, they think they know what's going on. They'll think, hey, I know it, but I think that's a great incentive for an employee to have.
Okay, in addition to having incentives, do you intend to train your employees?
Yes.
And what type of training do you intend to give these individuals?
Same one I've had. Again, with liquor license professional, we did something similar. It's called responsible vendor training, which I've done as well. I think that definitely helps and clears up a lot of questions for somebody who hasn't worked in the profession.
And do you own or lease the place?
Lease.
And the lease is valid in God, what I'm trying to say. The lease is valid and you're not in default and all is well?
Yes, lease is valid. Yeah.
And do you believe you're a person of good moral character, record, and reputation?
I definitely do. Yes.
And you understand, obviously, through your prior experience in the liquor world, that a liquor license is a privilege and it's not a right. And you understand that should your location violate the liquor laws, this jurisdiction of the city of Littleton or the state of Colorado can revoke or suspend the license.
I do understand that. Yes, sir.
Do you have anything else you'd like to advise the authority at this time?
Is there a basement in this facility?
No.
And are you going to have any surveillance or video cameras?
I definitely, yeah. I plan on doing, obviously, inside storage room. I've possibly outside, just the entrance, it kind of helps. But inside, I definitely do plan on doing it.
Are those back to the drawing, are those steps out the back door?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Are you is it on a slope?
It's kind of on a slope, yeah. And it goes into a location, it's blocked already.
Okay.
Yep.
Will that back door be locked?
Yep.
Will it be locked all the time or just?
It'll
during
be
business
locked
hours?
all the time, yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Singh, to your knowledge, has there ever been a retail liquor establishment in this shopping center on a previous occasion?
Not that I'm aware, no.
And what do you intend to do for exterior signage?
I'm sorry?
Exterior signage, how will it be a monument sign on Arapahoe Road? Will there be a display sign on the front of your building?
Yes, sir. There will be obviously on the top, and then on Arapahoe, with the rest, where the rest of the signage is for the rest of the locations, we plan on putting a sign in there.
Thank you.
You had indicated that in your previous establishment, your policy was to ID everyone who is 40 or over. Do you have a plan for what your policy will be here at this?
Same thing. It worked. So since I was there, there was no incident that I ever had a problem with. People were aware to bring their ID, especially because we had a sign on the door and on the counter saying if you're 40 years or about 40, please have your ID ready. And my employees were always good with that, and I think that worked. So I definitely do plan on doing the same thing.
And what kind of training are you going to give?
Well, the same one I did the responsible vendor training. Even though I had experience, I definitely wanted to make sure I knew all the rules. And it was great training. It took about 4 hours, so I do plan on doing the same thing, especially at the beginning. Before opening, I do plan on giving the rest of whoever I do hire them as well.
So you'll be training your employees. They're not going to go through this training.
I haven't really thought about that, but I do think I can definitely give them that training since, again, I've worked at I have quite experience as well. And then since I've done that training, it helped me, so I think I can definitely do it. But again, I haven't decided if I'll be doing that, doing that to the employees, but it definitely was a great thing. So I'm leaning towards having them go through the same thing I went.
Who's your current employer?
Level 3 communications.
If you're granted a license by this authority, when would you intend to open?
It's my guess would be I definitely do want to open before Thanksgiving. It depends on everything I have, because again, a lot of stuff needs to go in as far as the cooler goes and shelving and the counter. So once that all gets done.
Will you own those fixtures or lease those fixtures?
I'm sorry?
Will you own those fixtures or lease those fixtures?
I'll be owning them. The inside, the cooler and everything, yes, sir, we'll be owning it.
Out of curiosity, on what I believe would be the east side of the building, you indicate that there is a door that will be blocked. It seems to indicate that, at least by the drawing, that will be shelving. You intend to block the door by shelving, or exactly what's involved there, out of curiosity?
That one, we're in the process of finding out from the fire department what exactly we can do there. They do have, because from my understanding, because the plans are with the city with the fire department right now, we have to figure out if it can be blocked permanently or if that has to be an emergency exit. If I don't need that to be an emergency exit, I will make sure that there's no way of going in and out. There's a couple of different ways you can do that. I don't want to permanently just lock it, put a block over it, but there's a few things you can do. I forgot what it's called, but you can block it where the door won't open. But some of it does depend on what the fire department says.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions from the board?
My question would relate more towards the partnership, if it's 50-50. How is the business structured? Are you solely responsible for the management decisions of this location?
Yes. It is 50-50, and then, me, myself, I'll still be at my location, but I'm responsible for the managerial duties.
And wait, if you're granted a liquor license, will you be at the premise on a regular basis?
I will be a visible person there, yes, sir. I will have somebody, my father, who's in attendance. He's managed liquor store before, has prior business experience. He'll be there when I'm not, but I do plan on being there on my off days and after work, so forth.
Anything else? Do you have anyone else you'd like?
We do. We have the owners of the property. They came.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Come on up, please.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Steve Elkin, do you need the...
No, you were previously sworn. Would you just...
Okay, so we've owned the property now for probably about 22 years. We plan on owning it a lot longer as well, too. We also, when we met the gentleman that you just talked with to discuss leasing the space, one of our concerns is always past experience, just like you also went into, and we also wanted to know what the family history was, because part of this experience is based on family members' history in the liquor business as well as the restaurant business. So they gave us a list of, it was Aurora property, the Commerce City property, and the Golden property. So we also want to see how those were run. We also own, my partner is also here, we also own other shopping centers in Pueblo and Aurora, some other places too that have liquor stores. So we wanted to see how those compared to other tenants as far as inventory, as far as cleanliness and things of that nature. So we checked out the ones that the family members had run, and they were pretty consistent with the quality of operation we like to see there. We've had a lot of long-term tenants. The beauty shop's been there 25 years. Swim store's been there probably close to 18, 20 years. So we like to also, we're not just there for the money. We want to make sure it's a good mix, and we want to make sure it's a good operator as well, too. It's not fun having turnover, so we wanted to make sure if we're going to bring a tenant in, both from a financial standpoint as well as an operational standpoint, we wanted to check them out as well, too. I'm available for any questions that any of you may have. Let me address one question you asked that maybe wasn't clarified. There already exists a pylon sign on Arapahoe, so he'll be adding his signage onto the existing pylon sign.
Mr. Elkin, has there ever been a liquor store in there before?
Not since we've owned it since 89 or 90.
And why do you think that is?
You know, there wasn't a lot of vacancy up till about 2 or 3 years ago. There wasn't a lot of turnover. There was a scrapbook and insurance agency there, was owned by the same lady. There was a dance studio there for a lot of years. And I think most liquor stores want that hard corner of a shopping center, will it be on Broadway, you know, one of the two end corners. And that end space, really up until about a year ago, or a little less than a year ago, was never open for almost all 20 years that we owned it.
And I have some follow-up questions for you.
Sure.
Are you 21 years of age or older?
Yes.
I have to ask the question.
It's okay, he's probably going to hopefully he'll card me when I go in, too.
Do you on occasion consume an alcoholic beverage?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the area of this location? Obviously, you've owned this property since 89.
Yes, I am familiar with the area.
Okay, you're familiar there. And do you believe that the singular liquor store that's across the street on the west side of Broadway, a couple blocks down, is sufficient to serve the alcohol needs within the designated area?
I think from both a cost standpoint for competitiveness, I think you need more than one of anything almost.
And if this license is granted, would you purchase your alcohol at this location?
Yes,
Do you believe there's a neighborhood need and desire for this license to issue?
yes.
I don't have any further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Authority? All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that's, I mean, I could call up anyone else, but I think, you know, the other owner would probably echo exactly what this gentleman just said. We don't have any other witnesses to call unless you'd like to speak to the other owner, the uncle. He's here as well, if you want to speak to him. Otherwise, we would kind of rest our case at this point in time.
Okay. I don't have anyone else who signed up to speak, but let me just ask again, is there anyone else in attendance tonight that would like to speak? No? Okay. Any other questions for their attorney? The authority? Okay. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there thoughts from the authority?
Well, from reading the petition, the businesses and the residents in the area seem very supportive of this new business. So I always look at that, making my decision.
I think that's a good assessment of what we see here.
Does anyone want to offer a motion?
The only thing I would say is there are a lot of schools in that area. So, you know, I would make sure that your training is thorough. There is an optional type high school in the area. So please, please make sure that all your employees are well trained and check for IDs.
I think for the record, we should acknowledge that one of the schools, Euclid Middle School, signed in opposition. However, the alternative high school, Option Pathways, signed in favor.
Correct.
And the petition, can you remind me, what's the regulation about distance? I mean, the petition mentioned that they're not within 500
feet, and on page 3, they assert that Euclid is 1,464 feet away, and Option is beyond that as well.
Is that, okay. Does anyone like to offer a motion?
I will offer a motion. I move that the public hearing be closed and the resolution of the Littleton Licensing Authority be approved, which grants Beer, Wine, Spirits, Inc., doing business as Sunset Liquors, 26 East Arapahoe Road, Littleton, Colorado. Bureau of Investigation, a retail liquor store liquor license contingent upon receipt and approval of the reports from the Colorado Bureau of Investigation and approval by the Colorado Liquor Enforcement Division, and based upon the following findings of fact. 1, that notice of the hearing was properly posted and published. 2, that the applicant has possession of the premises and the premises are suitable for the requested license. 3, that the needs of the neighborhood are not now being met. 4, that it is the desire of the adult inhabitants of the neighborhood that the license be issued. 5, that existing similar liquor licenses in the designated neighborhood are not adequate. And 6, that the applicant is a person of good moral character, record, and reputation.
I second that.
Any discussion? I just wanted to add the percentage in favor on the petition was lower than what we have often seen. So I just wanted to acknowledge that, but I still think by any measure it's a supermajority of those polled. So I don't think that it doesn't show support. I just thought I would point out.
Yeah, and I felt the percentage that wasn't in support, I felt they were also many different reasons, whereas if they were more concentrated on one singular issue, they would have shown through much closer.
Right. Any other discussion?
No.
All right. Can you poll the authority, please?
Authority Member Cole?
Yes.
Authority Member Odell?
Yes.
Authority Member Mather?
Yes.
Authority Member Levere?
Yes.
Authority Member Webb?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Good luck.
The next item on our agenda would be 17, general business. Any general business? I guess this would come here rather than as a report. I was curious from the police department, based on his comment about letting outlets who successfully pass, when you all send people in who are not of age, do we identify licensees if we, when you send your folks in, if they correctly identify them, or ID them, do we identify them and let them know that they were successful?
Yes, the department does send them a letter informing them that we did attempt to make an underage purchase, and they followed the ordinance and failed to sell to the officer or to the undercover person.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I ask you another question? Is this, are there like 2 times a year concerted efforts to make these assessments? Or is it kind of sparsely and random?
It's random.
Okay.
How often would you say in a normal year you all do those?
I would have to go back and talk to Detective Brannon, who was the liquor enforcement officer prior to my assignment.
Okay.
So what's the likelihood that you'll do a test of this establishment within 90 days after they receive their license?
I'll have to talk with Sergeant Ward, who schedules those operations, and find out when he'd like to try and conduct another operation where we attempt to make purchases at our retail stores.
Is that your usual practice, to do a test after they've gone in business?
Well, the patrol officers will be doing business checks in the area, and the school resource officers, if we have information that an establishment is selling to underage people. We've had officers just sit in the parking lot and watch people coming and going, and if they see someone that appears to be under the age of 21, they'll make contact and make sure that they are 21. And if they're under 21, they'll cite them and then find out who sold the alcohol and cite that person also.
Thank you. Reports from staff?
I don't know if everyone heard this, but I just wanted to let you know that the City Council did extend the moratorium on retail marijuana establishments in the City of Littleton for 1 year until October 1st, 2014. So it will not affect any of our current medical marijuana establishments. They will allow to continue their operations with medical marijuana. They will not be allowed to convert or do retail marijuana until the City Council decides to take it back up.
Do you have a report on, was it Canamart, the most recent medical marijuana? Have they moved their location and opened the new one?
They have. They've moved their location and transferred the license and closed the other location. All that happened very smoothly.
And that was the one that was in this retail shopping center, correct?
Previously, right.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Any other reports, issues from the authority members? Okay. Then I will, do we do motions to adjourn? We don't. Okay. Then we'll adjourn the meeting.